Hi, my name is Nicholas. Welcome to this week's Yin practice. As far as props for today, I suggest having a cushion of some sort and also a bolster if you have one. If you don't, then maybe a sham or some kind of a thick pillow, maybe a couch pillow or something would work instead. And we'll get started straight away today. We'll come to our first shape, which is a supported forward fold. So just having both your props nearby, I'm going to come to sit off of the edge of my soft block. Legs can be mostly extended. You'll kind of play with the bend that you want. I'm going to offer to take a bolster underneath the knees. And then you can see how this works for you. If this feels like maybe not enough of a bend to the knees and you want to start off with a deeper bend, then you can have the feet to the floor, maybe use your bolster to kind of prop yourself up. If you're happy with bolster under the knees, then great. And then just check in here, notice what the low back feels like. If you want to stay upright for the first few breaths, you're welcome to do that, and you can also return to this shape at any point. But if you feel ready to fold forward, then go for it. You can start to round the spine, come to rest it maybe onto the legs, or maybe you have your elbows propping you up. If it feels okay to let the head hang heavy here, then go for that as well. And know that there isn't a specific shape you need to be in. So if taking the legs a little wider apart makes the shape more accessible, or if there's another adjustment like that that you want to make, then go for it. As you do settle yourself in, notice your breathing here, notice where your headspace is at, notice what the body feels like. And keep checking in with the back body here, and if you find that you're in a little bit too deep, you can always back out. As the body gets used to the shape, you may find that you have a little more room in it. So if you want to go deeper, then that's fine too. Just keep listening to what your body's telling you, listen to what your experience is. Check in here. If you need a little bit more time, then feel free to stay. Otherwise, with the support of the hands, slowly start to unravel yourself back up. Taking your time to arrive, you might roll the shoulders a couple times. You can move your bolster out of the way, maybe your block as well. It might feel nice to windshield wiper the knees a little bit side to side. Awesome. One more counter stretch. We can set up reverse tabletop so you can take your hands slightly behind you, hands point wherever feels the most comfortable. Feet down to the floor. The bum doesn't have to leave the floor. You can stay here and puff the chest up, maybe lift the gaze. Or if you like, press hands and feet down, lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling. And make sure you're breathing, whatever your shape looks like. As you're ready, bring the bum back down to the floor. And now from here, set yourself up so have your bolster near the top of the mat. And then we'll swing the legs around and lower down onto the belly. We'll set up for Sphinx pose. So for this one, we'll be on the forearms, and you can use your bolster up against the chest. Now find a place that feels comfortable and sustainable for the spine. So if this feels like a little bit too much of a back bend, then feel free to take the elbows and the bolster a little further forward. The opposite would be to bring them a little bit closer if you want a little more sensation through the spine. But we'll be here for a few minutes again, so find something that you think would be relatively comfortable for that whole period. Notice what's going on here. Notice the neck. See what feels best for the head. Is that to keep it upright or to let it hang heavy? Maybe somewhere in between the two. We're about halfway through the shape, so you can check in and see what you'd like to do with the second half. You can stay exactly as you are. If you need to soften a little bit, if you want to add some more intensity, then that's great too. One option might be to bend the knees here and then just see how that affects your shape. If it feels good, then keep it. If it doesn't feel like it's serving you, then feel free to choose something else. And check in before you exit. If you could use a little more time here, then go for it. Otherwise, you might slowly start to lower the chest down towards the floor, moving your prop out of the way. And from here, you can stack the palms and then turn your head over towards the right. Maybe slide that right knee up towards the right side, almost like tree pose, but on the belly. Bringing the forehead to center, re-extend the right leg down, and then switch to the second side, bending the left knee, turning the gaze towards the left. Awesome. And then bring the head back to center, re-extending the left leg. And we'll sit up crocodile pose, so kind of a similar shape, more for the upper spine, also for the chest. And then for this one, you can bring your bolster back a little further away than where it was before. And then from here, bring one elbow onto it and then the other. So see what works best. For me, having the hands together feels the most comfortable. Make sure that you have an appropriate distance between yourself and the bolster so that then you can let the head be heavy, maybe rest the forehead onto the bolster as well. And then from here, you could explore having the elbows a little closer together, maybe even a little further forward in space, see how that affects the chest as well. And when you find the place that you'd like to rest, then find your stillness here and settle in. Gently release the arms first. And then lifting the head up, moving the bolster out of the way. And stacking the palms. We'll pause for a moment here. Maybe give the hips a little rock side to side, a little movement for the shoulders. And when you feel ready to, you can slide your bolster down near the side of the mat and then roll yourself onto the back. And come to lying down, and we'll extend the legs long down the mat. You can extend the arms long up the mat, and setting up on an asana. So from here, you can walk the feet down towards the bottom right corner, and then maybe the arms towards the top right corner until you're in a crescent moon shape with the body. You can cross left ankle over right, maybe left hand into right, and see what feels good for head, neck, and shoulders here. Find that stretch to the whole left side and breathe into it. Crossing anything that's crossed, walking everything back towards the midline. And then from here, feet towards the bottom left, arms towards the top left. And find your expression of the shape. Notice what the right side feels like here and settle into it. As you're ready, bring the head back to center, the arms, the legs. And then from here, we'll bend the knees. You can use your bolster if you like for the twist. I'm going to set up the bolster between the legs. You could also have it on the ground. And from here, scoot the hips over to the left a few inches, lower the knees down towards the right. And find your version of a twist that feels best for today. I'm going to cactus the arms, but see if there's a different expression you'd prefer. You can even play with the intensity of the twist by playing with the relationship between knees and belly button. So if you lift the knees a little higher, that might feel more intense. It might also change where you're feeling the deepest twist. And likewise, if you lower the knees relative to the belly button, that might help to soften. As you feel ready, tone the belly. One at a time or together, you can lift the knees back up and scoot the hips to midline. And then from here, setting for the second side, hips over to the right a few inches, and then knees down to the left. And see what this feels like. If it feels different, if it feels like you need slightly different support here, go for it. And take a moment to settle into your twist and then breathe into it. And as you feel ready to slowly collect the knees back into center, let's get the hips to midline. If you are using a bolster, you can move it off to the side. We'll set up for Shavasana next. If you want to take the bolster under your knees, then go for it. If there's a different shape you'd rather rest in, then go for that instead. Find wherever you feel the most comfortable, the most settled. And take a moment to settle yourself in, to add any layers that you need or dim the lights. And as you feel ready, come and find your stillness here. When you feel ready to, gently bring your attention back to the space and give the head a gentle rock side to side. And wiggle the hands and the feet. And maybe reach the arms up and give yourself a full body stretch. And when you feel ready to, lower down wherever you have the most room, either side. Pause for a breath or two. And with the support of the hands, making your way up to find any comfortable seated position. And take your time, there's no rush to arrive. And take a moment to lengthen the spine here, to soften the shoulders, and to check in with the body, see how it's feeling. Take that scan from the feet to the head. And collecting the hands at the heart, bowing the chin in towards the chest. And thank you for joining me for practice today. Namaste. Thank you for joining me for Yin practice. If you have any questions, my name is Nicholas. Please reach out and have a great evening.